The clock is ticking for the official termination of the Visiting Forces Agreement between the Philippines and the United States. But as Patricia Manguna reports, a new treaty could already be on the drawing board. Pat Mangune with the story.
Less than a month after President Rodrigo Duterte declared the Visiting Forces Agreement with America terminated, Philippine Ambassador to the U.S. Jose Manuel Babe Romualdez and his counterpart, U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines Sung Kim, are now studying ways to craft a pact similar to the VFA. The plan this time is to pattern it with the U.S.'s existing treaties with Japan and Australia.
Perhaps, again, still following the president's thinking about the sovereignty issue. I think the Japan formula, which is SOFA, as they call it, SOFA, is one of those that was recommended for study. And also I think we have a visiting forces agreement with Australia.
Romualdez said scrapping the VFA does not spell the end of U.S.-Philippine ties. But whatever the two envoys come up with will just be recommendatory, said Palace spokesman Salvador Panelo, as the president has already made up his mind. Meanwhile, former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court Antonio Carpio believes a VFA less Philippines would be susceptible to incursions, as it would render the EDCA or the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement and the Mutual Defense Treaty or MDT useless.
Without such capability, we telegraph to the enemy that further seizure of Philippine islands, rocks and reefs in the South China Sea would be a walk in the park, just like China's seizure of Mischief Reef and Scarborough Shoal. Without such capability, we would practically be inviting the enemy to seize whatever Philippine island, rock, reef it desires to seize in the West Philippine Sea.
Carpio sees the need for treaties with other nations for self-defense.
It's not true that we should be either a Chinese province or a U.S. territory because we can have alliances.
Former Foreign Affairs Secretary Albert Del Rosario pleads to Congress and the Supreme Court not to allow the scrapping of the EDCA and the MDT as well.
We do not believe that one man alone can make this damaging choice for our people.
For News 5, Patricia Mangune. We are One News.
Senator Panfilo Lacson admits the VFA has its shortcomings, but for him, the benefits outweigh the cons, including the $900 million worth of military and assistance from the United States. He reveals as well that not all of the president's men agree with the abrogation.
Meron silang mga apprehensions, meron silang reservations doon sa pag-terminate, doon sa pag-abrogate. Wala pa ako yatang nakausap na parang all out in supporting the president to abrogate.
Palace spokesman Salvador Panelo was quick to refute Lacson, saying members of the cabinet support the president's foreign policy. House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, meanwhile, says scrapping the VFA will not really weaken the country's defenses, especially in protecting the contested waters in the West Philippine Sea.